It began almost a century and a half ago, when cricket found its first heartbeat. 1877, the dawn of Test cricket. 5 days of patience, precision, and pure poetry. For many generations, this was the game's ultimate truth, the real test of time. Then came 1971, the one-day revolution. This is where patience met pace. It started with 60 overs, and then became 50. One day, one result. Cricket had discovered its second rhythm. And, just when the world thought the game could go no faster, 2003, came the age of instant glory, where the game met the modern age. 20 overs, fireworks, noise, nights under lights. Cricket became pure entertainment. Now, almost 2 decades have passed. But, evolution never ends. Every sport waits for its next leap. For cricket, this is it. After all, every generation deserves its own chapter. And now, in 2025, we welcome the dawn of the fourth format. A new heartbeat for a new age, built for the next generation. And we are calling it... Not just yet. Before we get to that, let's meet our host for this afternoon. Please welcome the brilliant, the ever-spirited, Grace Hayden.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Grace Hayden, and today you're part of a moment that will be remembered in the story of cricket forever. I'm thrilled to be your host this evening as we open the door to the sport's next great era. From the patient poetry of Test cricket to the precision of ODIs to the electric thrill of T20, the game has evolved across generations. But every revolution in cricket begins with one bold question. What next? Today, we answer that question. Think about this. Since the introduction of T20 more than 2 decades ago, we haven't witnessed any true innovation in the game. Formats like T10 or the 100 may be shorter, but they're not transformations, they're derivatives. The trend of making the game shorter might serve as a distracted audience, but for cricket itself, it takes risks losing something sacred. Perhaps it's time to take a U-turn before the gentleman's and gentlewoman's game becomes a parody of its own greatness. The creation of the fourth format began with a belief and purpose to solve a question the media has raised time and time again. Where does cricket go from here? And finally, someone's found an answer. A way to reimagine the game itself, to create a beautiful bridge between legacy and innovation. Today, we'll hear from the founder, the leadership team, and some of the cricket's greatest legends, men who have shaped its past and are now helping shape its future. So, wherever you are in the world, take a deep breath. Settle in, because the next chapter of this beautiful game begins right here, right now. Right, to begin, let me introduce the architect and of this new format, the founder and CEO, Gaurav Bahirvani. Gaurav is a visionary sports entrepreneur, wildly acclaimed for his marketing and creative genius. Over the years, he's helped build powerful human brands around the world and has consistently pushed the boundaries of storytelling, innovation, and impact. His passion, however, has always belonged to one field: cricket. That connection runs deep. Ever since he was first called upon to manage the brand of none other than Captain Cool himself, MS Dhoni. From that moment, cricket became more than just sport for him. And through the creation of the fourth format, he's channeled that passion into reimagining the game itself, creating a platform that unites legacy with the future. Please welcome Gaurav.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you very much.
Right, let's dive straight in, as I'm sure everyone is really eager to know, what is this fourth format?
Well, thank you first. I think thank you to all the members of the press, the media, and my friends who've joined us today from around the world. Thank you for taking the time. I'll tell you very honestly, over the years, I've read countless articles, many written by journalists who are there today, watching us, and many of them wrote about the death of Test cricket, the fatigue of ODIs, the oversaturation of the T20s. And every time I read one, the question stayed with me. And really what was in my mind was, are we out of ideas? Have we actually stopped imagining? Is there a way in which the game can change? And because somewhere, between the patience of a test and T20, the modernity of T20, the sport seemed to lose some middle ground. And that perfect balance between endurance and entertainment, strategy and spectacle, legacy and relevance. I think that is something that was missing, and that's where I felt maybe there is a way in which we can find something new, something interesting for the modern generation. The question, became an obsession. As you can understand, in the last 9 months, we've spent hours and hours figuring out, what is it that we can do. And then, there came a situation where we found something, and we said, what happens in a scenario where you marry Test cricket with T20? Is there a way to create something new, something fresh? Because I was honestly very bored of the shorter formats that we are seeing every day. And I said, it's time to take a U-turn. Maybe look at an opportunity where you don't really need to go long. You don't have to be very short. You can be somewhere in the middle. So let's call it the middle form, and create something there. And that's where I think we found the answer. It wasn't just a tweak to the game, because the idea was to combine the best of both worlds, and that's what we have done. We've combined Test cricket with T20, and fused them into a format that gives today's generation what they crave for, which is intensity with meaning. And we obviously had to give it a name, and I think the most obvious name that came to mind was Test 20. That's what we are calling it. So that is the fourth format. We're calling it Test 20. I'm sure you're able to see the logo. And the truth is that I think this is just another leap that I think cricket was looking for. And that's something that we've built. So I'm very, very glad that we are able to talk about it today and show it to the world.
What an inspiring journey you've set out on. Exciting times ahead, that's for sure. So how will the world experience Test 20?
Well, I think, when we built the format, I think the next immediate question to us was, who's going to play? And we understand that, the current players are occupied. They have a chock-a-block calendar. We have seen a lot of leagues around retired players anywhere around the world, which is great, to see the greats of cricket playing. I do follow that a lot myself. But, I wasn't wanting to chase the past. I was chasing the future. And I think that's where I realized that, with both the current and the retired players, there is one generation which they care deeply about, and that is the youth. And if you look around it, there is not a single unifying platform which brings youth cricketers together. Every country has their sort of own mechanism to deal with them, but you haven't ever seen, kids between the age of 13 to 19, or maybe 17 to 19, playing together as a part of one single franchisee. That multicultural feel, just like the IPL, for example. But that with the kids now will be a wonderful new introduction to the world of cricket, and that's something that we felt was very interesting. I am very, very clear, and I would like to make it clear that this will be inclusive. I would like to have, I'll make sure rather that we have both the boys and girls both playing. In season 1, we are going to start with the boys, but we are going to include women in season 2 onwards. And just to make sure that everybody gets a chance to experience this new format in the tournament that we have. Just to set a context, I mean, what we're really trying to do is, if you've seen the NCAA, which in the US, what they have done with basketball, we're trying to create the NCAA equivalent in the world for cricket. I think it's much needed, not just from another tournament's point of view, but it is much needed because I believe that there is opportunity lying everywhere in the world. It's not just India. I look at opportunities in Africa. I look at opportunities in the US. Despite of whatever is happening in the US right now, I think the opportunity is there. People want to play cricket. And I think in the younger lot, they really need the encouragement to come and have platforms like these where they can showcase their skills, right? Because it's very limited to how much you can choose when you are in a state association, because there's so many kids who want to play. So we just thought that we'll extend that little help to the associations around the world, the cricket boards around the world, and say we are your ally. We will help you find more talent through our platform. And interestingly, this is what we have done. So just before I sort of conclude my answer, basically four things is what we are introducing today. We're introducing a new format, which is, like I said, the combination of test and T20 called Test 20. We have a new generation that we are targeting, which is the 13 and to 19-year-old kids from around the world. We've got a new technology that we are bringing into the world of scouting. It's wonderful what we have created. It's going to be the world's first AI discovery engine. To give you a very simple view of what it is. So think of a camera pointed at the net, and the camera has a brain. And the brain is being fed for the last 6 months with data about under 19 cricketers. So the camera is actually watching the clips over and over and over again. We've done this about 100 times so far, and we are feeding extra data every day. Now the camera knows what to look for when they're looking for an under 19 cricketer, right? It's been fed with 9 parameters to look for. It automatically ranks the cricketer in front of the camera based on how they are playing. So it's a beautiful new thing. And, thanks to technology, we are able to bring that to cricket. It's being used in other sports now, but we are bringing that to cricket, along with, of course, motion sensor technology, which is going on the bat and the ball. There are chips which are available now. So it's a lot of data-driven, scouting rather than depending on just, manual review, I would say. And finally, of course, we are launching a tournament around this format. So it debuts in January next year. It is called the Junior Test 20 Championship. I wanted to stay away from the word league. I think there are too many leagues in the world. Championship sounds more interesting for the kids. Also championship because, we always say in the press, crowning a champion, but we really never give them a crown. So if you look at the logo of Test 20, we've actually got a crown. And if you zoom closely, you will see the elements of cricket around it. It was built by my team in India very beautifully. And we are going to hand over a crown to the winning team. So it's very interesting. I've got this 3D crown created. It's very beautiful. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. But I'm very happy that these are the things that we'll be able to offer to the younger lot when they come and play with us.
Well, you got me at crown there, my friend, but you-centered, new technology, next generation technology, really, as well, and a new championship. I mean, this is massive. But what do you hope that Test 20 will achieve in its first few seasons?
I think I'll keep it very short and simple. I think the goal is very simple: discover, train, elevate the next generation of cricketing talent using technology, data analytics, and of course mentorship from the greats who also joined us. The idea is just to create a beautiful global ecosystem, not just another tournament. I think that's what I have in my mind.
Amazing stuff ahead. All right, I think it's time we meet the team that's helping the vision really become a reality. Joining us now is someone whose track record really speaks for itself. Michael Fordham, who's the COO of Test 20, and I'm sure many of you know him as the former CEO of Rajasthan Royals. Michael, welcome. Really exciting times ahead for you. You've been a part of many cricketing IPs globally, but what really drew you to this one?
Yeah, hi Grace. Thanks for hosting and great to see everyone. Yeah, when I first heard about this idea from Gaurav, I was immediately drawn to it. Gaurav mentioned innovation. Cricket is a sport that has innovated over the years from, the dawn of ODIs to T20 to embracing technology. And I think this can be the next step along that. There's a lot of exciting elements to this. I think, one of the fascinating things, despite cricket's acceptance globally and the growth of it globally, there isn't really one unifying ecosystem for youth cricketers around the world. And I think that's potentially the most exciting thing about the championship element of this is the opportunity to develop and discover young talent. We saw with the last IPL, for example, the performance of Vaibhav Suryavanshi and several other teenagers actually in that tournament, just how much high quality youth talent there is in India alone. And I think that this system and our registration system and the AI engine that Gaurav talked about, we can use that to discover and develop players and create different pathways into the game that can hopefully develop players for the global stage. So that's a very exciting element. And then the format itself, I think is is going to be really exciting. I think it's a great one for youth players, enable them to develop their skills in a slightly longer format with slightly different narrative to T20. But that two innings format, I think, will provide really interesting storytelling opportunities for media partners. And then obviously, as we've built this out, we've had the endorsement of some of the legends that we've got on this call who, see the opportunity here. So yeah, the whole thing is really exciting, and it's going to be fascinating to see where we go over the coming months.
Hey, as head of operations, what are some key priorities for the Test 20 in the next coming months?
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot to do. A lot has been done already, but we're doing a lot of things simultaneously. The first priority really immediately is to launch and being able to manage the registrations seamlessly. So from tonight or tomorrow, there's going to be an opportunity for the young cricketers to register for this tournament. So ensuring that every young player who has the opportunity to dream about playing this format gets the chance to apply. So getting that off the ground is obviously the first priority. And at the same time, the team is building the technology backbone, the AI engine that Gaurav mentioned, and various other elements to that is being finalized as we speak. And then at the same time, we're also onboarding various other partners, so franchises, broadcasters, commercial partners. Those discussions are all taking place at the same time. And at the same time, the events team is focusing on how we deliver the event. So yeah, a lot of sort of work streams taking place in parallel. A lot to do, but we will get there, and I'm sure we're going to launch in very exciting style early next year.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a clear and powerful roadmap by the sounds of things you've got going on. It's really exciting to hear the precision and the structure that's going into this launch as well. So thank you so much for providing that insight. All right, it's time to enter into this part of the press conference where we hear from some of our greats of the game. Now, this man doesn't need any introduction. He's a modern day phenomenon, a player who redefined creativity on the field. The very special, and I'm also told he's the most loved international cricketer on Indian soil, AB de Villiers. AB, welcome. You've always been known for pushing the boundaries, for making the impossible look effortless. What excites you about Test 20?
Thank you, Grace. It's great to be here and to hear all the insight about this new format that we're launching. What excites me most is the freedom that this format sort of brings to the party, a real creative freedom. It lets players completely express themselves, but to also think differently and take the kind of risks that makes this game of cricket so beautiful. But even though it is cricket without any fear, and I love that about it, beyond that, it also teaches balance. You need to have the ability to adapt, to survive across the two innings. So it is a tactical, mental and emotional battle all in one day. And that's what I love about it. It also brings out courage. You have to be very courageous out there. You need the courage to innovate, to commit, and to also play with heart. Last but not least, what excites me most is the age group that we're targeting here between 13 and 19 years old. For me personally, it was a very confusing time of my life. And now these youngsters from all across the world, multicultural, no matter where you come from, will get the incredible opportunity to join forces with teammates from other parts of the world. What a fantastic opportunity for these youngsters to be seen and to be, to sort of their talents to be seen out there. And that's what I love about it the most, that exposure that they will get on global stage. So I'm incredibly excited about the journey ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? You've inspired so many youngsters around the world with your creativity and composure. But if you were a 16-year-old watching this right now, dreaming of playing Test 20, what would your advice be to that youngster?
I think at that age, the most fearful thing for me was failure. I was really scared to be exposed in a way. So for me, it would be to tell them, don't be scared to fail. That is where you learn new things. That is also where you build character. That's where you gain experience. Just have the ability to get up and to keep going. So I would say, don't be scared to fail, but at the same breath, be prepared to put in the hard work, keep your feet on the ground, stay humble. And when you get that opportunity for the second or the third or the fourth time, grab it with both hands.
Oh, wow. Goosebumps. So beautifully said. Yeah, I think every youngster listening to that would just feel the same way. So thank you for your insight. I'd now like to welcome one of the most respected figures in world cricket, Sir Clive Lloyd, a legend who led the West Indies to first World Cup glory and inspired generations. He's often credited with building cricket's first empire. Sir Clive, thanks for joining us. For someone who's almost synonymous in Test cricket, I'm very intrigued to know, why does Test 20 excite you?
Well, I think, Grace, it's nice speaking to you. And I'm so glad that you look like your mother. No, I'm only joking.
Hear that, Dad?
No, my dear, I think this is an exciting time because we all, like, everybody seemed to be, gorging on this 20, and now they have T10 cricket. I don't know how you pick a T10 team. That to me is very intriguing. But the point is that these young players, their talent will be on display quite early, and the skills that they will learn, they pick up at an early age. You look at the situation in India. India they have 1.25 billion people, and because of the IPL and they're mixing with the great cricketers like your father and others, they're learning things much earlier than they would have without that IPL. So that's why I think that, and they don't really, they're not all over the place and they're burnt out and so on. When they're ready to play, they've been rested, well rested, and they're ready to go out there and display their skills. I think that this championship of such, it will give the young players a chance to do well rather early. They'll be mixing with a lot of people from different parts of the world. And, they'll be learning a lot at quite an early age. In England years ago, in schools, you couldn't bowl more than 7 overs. So you weren't overworked or you didn't get injured early. So the point is that this is giving, all the youngsters an insight into a lot of what the longer game is. And I'm so glad that we have a system now where the longer game is at an age where your brain is ready to pick things up and calculate all the stuff that is necessary for later. So this program here is something that I do endorse, and I do wish them the best of luck, really.
I'm interested to know what you think about the format as a whole. I mean, it's a single day test match with that modern day feel of quick results that T20 gives. It's a true merger between test and T20 excitement, but then also the strategy that we all love of test match cricket. So what's your view on the concept of the format?
Yes, it's excellent. You're getting to learn all the skills and picking up all the tactics at a very early age. And I think that's the good thing about this tournament is that you in a full day you will learn quite a lot. The skills, especially you'll be picking up quite a lot of skills as they go along, and they're batting longer. It's not a short format, and all the rules of Test cricket will be employed. So it has got all the ingredients for success.
Well, it's great that it has your endorsement. Thank you so much. Lovely
Pleasure.
to meet you. Massive respect to you, my friend.
Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome someone who was known as, who spun magic on the pitch, every pitch he touched, really. One of India's most celebrated cricketers, a match winner across formats, and a true embodiment of fire, flair, and faith. Please welcome Harbhajan Singh, the Emperor of Spin. Harbhajan, my friend. It's an honor to have you on here. You've lived through every phase of modern day cricket, from the golden days of test match dominance to the rise. My first question to you is this. When you look at Test 20, a single day test format with that modern day energy and flair, what really stands out to you, and what makes you believe this could be cricket's next evolution?
Well, first of all, thank you, Grace, for the introduction, and hello to everyone out there, to all the seniors and everyone. And congratulations, Gaurav, for this beautiful venture which you are entering into. And we all are hoping and thinking in future that this will become a new format which people will endorse and also play. Yeah, cricket has always evolved, and very few times it has evolved with purpose. Test 20, that brings the purpose back. It brings back skill, temperament, and team character, which is more important. So I love it. It still rewards discipline, patience, and also spin. So because in fast world, control is power, as we know. So it's exciting, it's intense, and I'm looking forward to it. You know what it brings on the table. I'm really, really excited about it.
You've always been passionate about mentoring young cricketers, giving them the confidence to back their own talent. My second question to you is, when you look at Test 20 as a youth-driven global platform, what do you think it can teach the next generation of players about the game and really about themselves on the big stage?
Well, as Clive sir just mentioned, it is that early exposure to the kids. When they get to play with different kids from different environment, they come together and play together, and they learn, from each other. And that's exactly what has happened during the IPL. Why IPL became so big, because people from all over the world coming together and playing, and also knowing each other was the biggest thing. And of course, this game is not just about quick, scoring runs, and it still rewards you for your discipline and your talent and whatever you have it in you. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Obviously, Test cricket is my, favorite kind of a format, and it's good to see, Test format is getting involved with T20 format, or rather shorter format, where people can also look forward for something new. Technique never change. People still get out the way. They always get out. Even in Test cricket or T20 format, or the bowler bowl the similar balls. But how they will put their mind together to play two innings, that is going to be exciting in shorter format. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate your honesty. It's what makes you a true legend. And we love having you part of the Test 20 team and movement and what's to come, really. So thank you. All right, finally, we have a powerhouse of confidence, courage, and conviction, a man whose presence at the crease defined an era of dominance in world cricket. A player who faced the fastest bowlers on earth with calm eyes, but fierce intent. And who carried not just the Australian spirit, but the belief that cricket is as much about character as it is about skill. Please welcome my dad, Matthew Hayden. Dad, so
hello,
special.
Grace.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you as well. And hello, Sir Clive and Harvey and ABD, and of course, the founder, Gaurav, and also Fordham. Grace, it was unbelievable when I first met Gaurav over the phone and we started to talk about this format. Our heart centre was so rock solid on the youth being our future. And so that's really what's got me inspired. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you've had hour-long conversations with Gaurav to see where and how to make this format take shape. Sorry, it's exciting times ahead for everyone involved. But okay, let's get into it. So my first question is, why do you think Test 20 is so critical for youngsters? You talked about how your passion really and how Gaurav's passion really started, and you were really rock solid with having the youngsters at the forefront. But why do you think it's so critical for young cricketers today?
Well, Gracie, I suppose, from my perspective, and Harvey was just talking about it there, his favourite format is Test cricket. I'm pretty sure Sir Clive, he would echo the same sentiment, and ABD as well has got even though he's really known for that innovation amongst the youth cricket, his Test record is second to none, really. And for me, the longer formats of the game, they are truly a test. So they're a test of character, they're a test of skill, they're a test of mental and physical capability. And ultimately, they're just a solid test of character. When you go to the shorter versions of the game, I feel like we're kind of getting the most out of T20s for the very highest level. But one of the things that I'm concerned about as a custodian of our great game is that balance that you have to reach between finding a set of skills which allow you to play for a longer period of time. And 80 overs is a pretty long day. You think of 100 overs in one day cricket, 80 overs in the one day with the two different innings played across with great strategy and great purpose, as Harvey said as well, gives the youth an opportunity to be able to understand how it is that they're going to blend their performances throughout the course of the day, whilst also blending some of the really exciting elements as well of the shorter formats. I've always loved power play. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but power plays are an exciting phase that's the shorter versions of the game has put in. It's lovely to see that you can actually follow on as well. 75 runs, and if you don't get that, then by the way, you've got to go bat again. Something which Test sides pretty much after our collapse and India's unbelievable performance in the Kolkata Test match in 2001 have really challenged. They kind of rocked the cricketing world for many years. So it's lovely to see that element back into a shorter format. And just generally, Grace, the thing that I'm really excited about, as everyone's mentioned as well, is that element of multiculturalism. The fact that you've got players from all over the world playing together, coming from different backgrounds with completely different cricketing skills, means that there's going to be this flow-on effect when it comes to learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really about finding the balance between, strategy, heart, guts, and modernity, really. Right. Well, you've spent years mentoring young athletes in academies, in commentary boxes, at home with us.
Yes.
Yes. What do you think young players will really learn from a platform like Test 20, beyond just technique, temperament as well?
Yeah, well, Gaurav mentioned a few of the elements before in the 3-tier system, and one of the elements which really excites me, I more recently spoke at a function in Mumbai, which was about innovation and in particular innovation when it came to broadcast. And the use of AI is something which, in my opinion, basically makes you 20% smarter. And it's also makes you 20%, that 20% is a rapid onset of skills. Psychology is a really strong selling feature for our youth that are used to those kind of behavioural patterns as well of artificial learning and intelligence as a part of their daily regime. But I think the most important one of that three-tier system is also the interaction that it's going to have with great champions like Sir Clive, Lloyd, ABD, Bargy. You know, these men and these women that are on board with this new format, they are going to enhance that final skill set of, you know, when there's 96 players from across the world, you know, launching next February, that have got the ability to be able to sit inside this tournament space, are going to have the chance to interact with a champion like Sir Clive Lloyd, someone that I grew up wanting to be like, the cat wandering around, you know, in the slips cordon, ushering that incredible West Indian unit across time through the great 80s. I wanted to be Sir Clive. So I want to know as a kid, and this is the one thing that as a child, you want to experience how it is that they got that good and what their vision was. And that interaction is going to be gold for the youngsters across the world.
Totally. To have access to such legends and great minds of the game across not just tests, but multiple different formats. I mean, you've all had so much experience in that, and to be able to pick your brains will be such an asset alongside this new incredible format. Well, as your daughter, I must say this is pretty special to share this moment with you, Dad. You know, to see you believe in a format that brings together everything cricket has taught us: faith, courage, and innovation. It's something I think we'll all really remember forever.
Yeah, thanks, Grace. I mean, obviously, I'm very proud of you as well. And I appreciate your time today. And I appreciate Gaurav's vision. You know, when you thought of those milestones within the game, you know, the 1877 milestone of Test match cricket and the formation of the 1971, the start and the commencement of the great era of one-day cricket, and then 2003. I really feel, and no matter how I look at this, either as a former player, a coach, a broadcaster, or an administrator, which I'm so thankful for our great game to have afforded me the luxury of being able to do all of those phases of play in cricket itself. I guess what really inspired me was what to look out for the next great idea, and how that then wraps its way around the future of youth cricket. So very special, and I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for your time, Dad. Hey, I just want to take a moment to put a call out to our media. Please put in any questions that you may have. Write them in the chat box, and we're going to have a team that will put them all together and will come to you when it's time for your Q&A section. Right, well, this part of our press conference is where we bring everyone together, all the great names and faces and boys that really have helped bring this all together and that are really excited to bring this format to life. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We see all your faces. Nice to hear from you earlier, but I want to ask you a single question each, and you can talk to it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Great. All right. Question is, and I'll get Harbhajan, you can answer up first. Put you in the spotlight. What do you think Test 20 will mean for sport in 5 years' time?
Grace, you had better people to answer that. Sir Clive Lloyd is there, your dad itself, and great AB de Villiers. But since you put me on spot, see, any format, any format for any game, rather, you know, to get famous, it is that crowd, you know, which makes or breaks it. So 5 years down the line will be dependent on how we can, you know, come as together to make it so simplified, but at the same time so fun for the people who are watching it. So a game, you know, as a player we can play, you know, and we get involved with the new rules and etc. But it is that crowd which makes any game famous, whether cricket, hockey, or some places like Australia. Footy is big, you know. So those games are why these games are big, because the crowds go behind it. They endorse it. It is not just us former players endorsing the format. The best thing we can do is if we can, make it simplify, and people can understand and connect with it. Then sky is the limit, and I'm hoping sky is the limit for this format as well. New format brings a lot of excitement, lot of challenges as well at the same time, for people to understand. But the sooner they understand, and sooner if they look to enjoy it, if they are connected, any format will be hit. So I'm hoping Gaurav and everyone's hard work will not go for a toss, but rather go, strength to strength in years to come. So hoping this to do really well, keeping my finger crossed.
Well said. Well said. Wouldn't it be great to get the atmosphere of a Boxing Day test match or a IPL game coming together? All right, I'll move to Sir Clive. What about you? What's your take on where Test 20 and what it will mean in 5 years' time for sport? Oh, I think you might be on mute.
Can someone hear me?
I meet him.
I
Can you
got
hear me?
you. Yes, got you now.
Yeah. What I think that T20 is an exhibition, Test cricket is an examination.
Very well said, sir.
Now we've
Very
now
well said.
combined those two into one, and I'm sure it will be successful. I wish I wish the best of luck, and I'm hoping that everything goes according to plan. And from what we've discussed so far, I can't see any flaws. I'm proud to be involved here, and I want to see it, and I'm sure, just like everybody else, that it is successful.
Very well said. Dad, how about you?
5 years, it goes very fast, I must say. 5 years in any life cycle of any product can be very short, or it can be very long. I mean, I think I've really bought into the whole youth side of the vision, Gaurav's vision. I mean, I can see it being talent quest shows from a media perspective. I can see it being an entire community built as an ecosystem online. I think one of the things that I really enjoy about this is it's not just about the 96 players. It's illustrations, which I'm sure that we'll get to later, but that whole process of having a whole family. Like, there are times, Grace, in my life where my cricketing family, over and above my own beautiful family, of which you're a part of, has really kind of saved my life. And I'm thinking just more recently back to the passing of Simo and Warnie, and I had my cricket brothers and sisters, give me a massive cuddle and wrap themselves around me as we all, were grieving. So cricket is much more than just a game. It is more than an exhibition. It is more than an examination, as Sir Clive put so beautifully. It's about life. And so this is going to create a platform which enables us to plug into, on a very extended basis from all over the world, the future of the game, which is always going to be the kids. I mean, as much as I'd love to keep the pads on, I know that that's not a possibility. But I can share, and I can, be a part of a community which has given me back a lot. So I'm really excited about the potential of how media can carry it out as well, broadcasters with new technologies, in-ball technology, on-bat technology. I mean, when I see ABD crush the ball, one of the things I'd love to see as a broadcaster, even though I'd go, AB, he is crushed. I want to see a pounds per square inch measurement on the actual ball itself, or I want to see a true distance of what it looks like from how far he actually hit the ball. So those kind of innovations which is more about the product that we've got here in Test 20 is something that really excites me.
Yeah, absolutely. AB, I've been asking everyone, what do they think Test 20 will mean for sport in 5 years' time? What's your take on that?
Yeah, that is a tricky question to always look ahead with a new project, a new format. It will come with its doubts and the uncertainties, obviously. But there's so much to look forward to. I think the fact that it's 13 to 19-year-olds focused, that really focuses on the future of the game. And that's where you really want to invest. That's what excites me most about this new format is the fact that we'll see youngsters sort of grow up and mature a lot faster than what we did back in the day. It took us ages to start feeling at home at the international scene. I think these youngsters will arrive at the age of 20 in the international teams and be ready to go. So 5 years from now, tough to say. What I do know is there's a lot of hard work that's gone into this. There's a lot of hard workers that are involved with this new format, and a lot of people that understand the game of cricket. And I think that's the most important thing. Combining all kinds of elements, especially from the Test format, which I love about Test 20, is there's a lot of that feeling of Test cricket while you're also getting the excitement of T20 cricket all in one place. So 5 years from now, I think it's going to be recognized globally. I truly believe that. And there's no doubt in my mind I will still be involved 5 years from now.
Great. We love to hear that. All right. Well, we've heard from our greats. I think it's time to hear from the brains what they think of this. Michael, we'll start with you. What's your take?
Yeah, well, I think the cricketing legends have really said most of it. For me, I think that, as Hayden said, it's about the youth as much as anything. And what I hope is that in 5 years' time, we're sat here and this format, this movement has created some new stars who are maybe playing elite professional cricket by then. But more than that, I hope it just gives young cricketers the opportunity to experience different cultures, play with different people from around the world, learn from legends such as the gentleman on this call. I think when we add the women's or the girls element to it in future seasons, I think that will be a really exciting element to it. And I'm certainly not a cricketing legend like the guys on this call, but from when I think of it as a parent, as an opportunity for kids to come and develop their skills and be discovered by formats such as this, I think that's the most exciting element to it. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what we can achieve together and the type of talent that we can unearth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Gaurav, we'll end with you. You really created this whole new format. What's your take?
You're on mute, Gaurav.
Sorry, I said it's a very apt question on the day of launch, especially asking the founder, how far are you seeing? I'm seeing this going very, very far. So not 5 years, but I think 25 years, and we'll be hopefully celebrating this. But to answer your question, I think in 5 years I see Test 20 as a bridge that connects the sports to its roots while propelling it forward. I think that's something that I believe will be there. It'll be where every young cricketer's journey begins, to be honest, and where I think the future of the game is being shaped. You'll have teenagers from Mumbai, from Nairobi, from Melbourne, from New York, for example, all of them part of the same ecosystem. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It's an equal opportunity for all. And I think that is what will differentiate it. The format is interesting, and I'm sure over the next couple of years we'll see the format picking up a lot of interest, even by senior players, for example. And but I think to come back to that specific question, in 5 years, I think a lot of kids will look at this platform as an opportunity to chase their dreams. They will know for sure that there is something available to us where we can step in, and if we are good enough, we will go forward. I think it'll be the most global version of cricket that sport has ever seen. I think that's what I see 5 years from now.
Well, what a huge 5 years there are to come.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for being part of this segment. We're now wanting to take a few questions from the media that have joined us this evening. I believe some of you may have already posted some of your questions in the chat box. If you haven't already, please do so. I'm going to try my very best to get through and get your questions answered. So give me a minute here. Okay. Question 1 is to the panelists. This is from Jatin Verma from WION. He says, first of all, congratulations. My question is, what are the challenges that you're going to face in the coming months before you launch, and how do you plan to overcome them? Gaurav, I might start with you with this one.
Oh, sure. I think every time you launch something, any project in any sphere of life, you will find takers, and you will find people who don't believe in the idea. I think that is a challenge that you have to always balance when you start something new. Even with Test 20, I believe the bigger challenge for us is not whether the format is good or not, and the appreciation will come. I think the bigger opportunity for us rather is to allow parents to understand what this platform can do for them. I think that challenge for us is more important. Setting this up, making sure that enough kids register from around the world, because they will understand the value of what this platform can do for them. And I think going forward, I think partners will automatically come. What happens is everybody wants to start with everything in place. That doesn't work. I mean, I think the idea has got merit. The fact that I've got these legends endorsing this, on a live webinar itself is a testament that this is something that they believe in too. And I think for me the challenge was to first get someone like them. I mean, look at Sir Clive Lloyd. I mean, someone who's seen this for 50 years. I mean, for me it's the greatest honor today that the gentleman who's pretty much called the king of cricket's first empire is endorsing an idea that I've built 50 years down the line. So I think that for me was one of the most important things. And I think the challenge for us right now is to make sure that parents understand what the format is, how the selection process will work around the world. It's very seamless. We have done this sort of the testing before, so we understand how it will work. It's not confusing at all, but we are always there to help. So just looking forward to the start. And starting this evening, the registration form's open. So Test 20 is open to the world from today.
Michael, what do you think about the challenges that you face over the next couple of months building up to the proper launch?
Yeah, I think sort of like Gaurav says, that with any startup project, it's sort of managing different work streams simultaneously. We've got the event side of things to launch a great event early next year. There's a lot of work around that. You've got the registration side of things to make sure we get the players into the program, and then you've got all the sort of, I guess, the commercial elements. Bringing on board all of our commercial partners and media partners. But as Gaurav says, I think that comes in place. That comes once everything else is in place. And, I think today's launch will hopefully show people that we've got a really exciting proposition and help us along that way. But yeah, massive amount of work going on behind the scenes with the team. We've got a pretty much global team involved in this from several different corners of the world, as represented by the gents on this call as well. So yeah, a lot of work to do, but we're confident that we've got all the building blocks in place to make this a massive success. And as I said earlier, the fact that we've got the endorsement from the people on this call and others just shows, I think, that we're hopefully onto something very special.
It's what cricket's all about, right? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
All right, we'll move on to the next question. This one's for Harbhajan. It's from Avanish from Z News. As Budgie Sir said about the simplification of format, can you please highlight how you guys are going to make it easier for players and people to understand so that they get excited about it and take part in the championship? Oh, I think we might have lost.
I think we may have lost Pachi's connection.
Move on to the next. When he comes back on, we can ask him.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Vivesh Roy from Hinduism Times. Will there be where will be the first edition of the Test 20 be held? Are there plans to hold it all over the globe as the championship continues to grow?
Would you like me to answer that?
Yes, go for it. Take the reins.
I think for us, it was very obvious that we launched this in a country which has the biggest eyeballs when it comes to cricket. So we're launching this in India. We're going to play in India for a couple of years. And the idea is to make it a touring league. So we want to take it to different countries eventually. The reason for that also is that I'm very interested in non-traditional nations to step in. I want kids from those countries to also pick up cricket as an opportunity, as a sport, like we do in India. We never knew about, rugby or basketball for a very, very long time till, the opportunity came through the internet and we started playing that game in India, right? It's the same thing. We want to take cricket to those nations as well. And given the fact that if it becomes a touring league, the youngsters will also experience the opportunity of traveling outside, just like how these great legends have traveled in their entire lives, playing in different countries. And I think that experience is very important as well. So yes, to answer the question, we will be launching in India and we'll be playing in India for the first couple of years.
Great. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. This is for you, Dad. Akash from cricket.com is asking, with Test 20, how are you planning to take on the challenge of dealing with multiple cricketing boards? How's the scouting system going to work really for this project?
Yeah, it is a good question because movement often very challenging. When you go back to, where 1971, which we said was the formation of ODI cricket, it really took, a rebel unit to kind of challenge boards. But I don't feel like in this case that's the intention of Gaurav or the vision of Gaurav. I think it's more embracing youth cricket and finding a better way to, one, identify and two, develop youth talent. I know here in Australia, Grace, we have no longer got a national academy, which was kind of the bread and butter of Australian cricket and produced for 2 decades some of the best cricketers this country's ever produced. So I know, just purely talking about it from an Australian point of view, eliminating, finding a better method of talent identification. And then we've seen it in our country as well, partnering with boards, and in here as well in Australia, Cricket Board partnering with like a Bulls Masters organisation, which in Queensland here is the older boys that actually take cricket to regional communities where largely kids are undiscovered, although they've got immense talent. They then go into a recruiting process, which then allows them to play, in the metro cities, which is often. So I just see it as a value add, not something that's going to detract from any of the current programming that cricket is already got its hands full with.
Great. Does anyone have anything else to add to that one?
Yeah, I could speak. I think this is a question that I think plenty of people have asked me. What happens when it comes to the boards, and I think it's very important to address that question. Firstly, I think it's too premature to discuss cricket boards sanctioning this at this stage or that stage. I think the idea is, cricket. For me, cricket boards are like Ivy League. You have to prove your value before you want them to endorse you, right? You can't just start something and expect, a BCCI or any national cricket body to just endorse you right away. I want BCCI and bodies like them to see the work that we are doing, because there's a real purpose behind it. I think that's something that we will start with. We are very happy to transfer technology that we have built to all the state associations in India, for example, for counties in the UK. This is something we have built for the benefit of the younger lot. And we have great respect for what state associations or national bodies are doing when it comes to under 19 talent finding. And if we can add to that entire process a little bit by putting in the technology that we've brought in, I mean, we'll be more than happy. Because see, our focus is on grassroots. And there are two kinds of grassroots: people who have never got a chance, and people who had the chance, missed it, and they want a second chance. And I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of a cricketer in India, and we had a film around his life, Mr. Praveen Tambe, and he never gave up till the age of 40, and that's where he actually had the debut done at the age of 40, because he never got selected. But I think people talk about chances. I think everyone deserves more than two chances. It can be 5, 6, as long as there's a platform available to give you a chance and you have the talent in you and sort of the steam in you that you want to prove yourself. I think the chances should be available to everyone. Or why should it be restricted to 1 or 2 chances? And I think Test 20 is that platform. We will allow cricketers to become better on our platform because we will have the guidance of such great legends who have played this game. And hopefully in years to come, I think the boards and the state associations will look at us as partners and allies. And I think that's the intention from day one. We are not looking at competing state associations in any way. And there's no reason for us to start a tournament and pull out the best lot from there. Not at all. In fact, rather we want to contribute to the lot, and find more people that they may not have them in their radar. So I hope that answers the question. But yes, I mean, we would love to have them as partners in the future, but I think that's really not the idea of starting this. We have a very different purpose and a bigger purpose to play with. And I think boards like BCCI will appreciate that for sure.
All right, this question is for you again. Sorry, I'm getting you talking a lot. How do you see in the development of cricket with the new format, and more importantly, how do you attract big crowds for the new format?
I think so. When it comes to development, I think it's important that people understand what the format is. When we started writing it, we got damn excited, but then we had to write more and more to refine it. Even if you look at the rules, we have refined the rules, adjusted the rules to make it more one-day friendly, if that's what I could say. I think the explanation will come through in the next maybe month or so. You will see a lot of communication around the format, around how the selection will be done. You will see it on the internet. You will see it, off road. You'll see it on sort of billboards and things like that. So I think those are things which are coming. And I think the important thing is for the parent community, more importantly, to understand what it can do for their kids. I think that is the communication I want to share with parents, because a lot of kids, I have a son. He goes to an academy, and I think the biggest value add that something like this could do to my son is I at least find an opportunity or a platform where there is a 0.1% chance that he may actually make it, because now you are specifically on a radar where you are not being judged by one single human being who's probably a coach somewhere, but you have a technology which has very objective calculation of what you really are when it comes to selection. So I think sorry, what was the second question? I just want to address that too. There was a second part to the question. How are we going to get the crowd? Yes, good question. I think when we are starting off, the audience that we are looking at is really a home audience, and that's what I would want to address. We would want the younger lot to come in. So the first 2 years, we have decided that there will be no tickets charged or no pricing, whatever. There's no ticketing for anyone who is 13 to 19 years old anywhere in India. As long as they have an ID card of their college or school, they're most welcome to walk in. We are not going to charge anyone who falls in that age group, and a +1 can come along. That could be a parent or a guardian. We are not going to charge them money at all for ticketing. So we would like them to come experience it. We are going to have a school program where we are encouraging schools to send their kids on a day out, where they are not just looking at a match, but they are also looking at, I think what we are developing is a very interesting thing. We are asking schools to create a case study around that match that they watch. What did you learn when you watched this match today? Did you see teamwork? Did you see kids fighting with each other? So what was the learning out of that match? I think and schools are loving that idea. They're saying that that's actually a day out rather than taking them to a museum, because typically they're not really paying attention at all. So this is something they would enjoy. We are going to take care of the kids who come in. So I think the plan is working well because we've got a great response from the school system. So yeah, we will fill the stadiums. It will take some time, slow and steady, but I think the kids will enjoy the match. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, this is for both Gaurav and Michael. It's from Aditya from Sports Star. Can you explain the process of conceptualizing the format and how do you plan to integrate it with the existing youth cricket calendar?
Yeah, Mike, maybe you want to take this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Gaurav's really the brainchild behind the format, but I think it's you know, as we've just talked about earlier, it's an opportunity in terms of the actual playing conditions to sort of combine the skill and the sort of narrative of the test game with the power and the explosiveness of the T20 game over a one-day match, which we think is a fantastic format for young cricketers to be able to develop their skills and be able to have a match that has a lot of narrative and twists and turns, which we think will be exciting for broadcasters and others following it from home. And in terms of how it fits with the existing youth calendar, so this will, we're not trying to kind of break up or supersede any existing youth programs. And somebody used the phrase rebel league earlier, asking whether it was that. Certainly nothing like that. We're working with the existing cricketing infrastructures and building something that can be complementary rather than competitive to that. So the main tournament itself will be a relatively short sort of 3-week event taking place in the early part of next year. And the cricketers who play in that will be able to continue their other cricket at all other times of the year, whether they're playing for clubs or in elite pathways, or indeed if they're not playing established formal cricket, then this can be a way for them to be able to get into an ecosystem there. We imagine there'll be talent scouts from various teams and things like that from all around the world watching this. So I think the phrase is kind of complementary, not competitive, and building on things that are already there and creating a new platform for these players to be discovered. But if you've got anything you want to add, Gaurav, on sort of the genesis.
I think you've covered it. I think it'll take us maybe one season to prove and address a lot of these questions that will come up when you start something new. Development of anything like this is going to be a little time consuming, but I think we'll get there. I think what we are very clear is we know the base purpose of why we are doing this, and there is enough audience available in I think around the world now who will basically appreciate what we are doing. I think it's a much needed effort that was required in the world of cricket, and I think that is a big gap which we are trying to fill in. So it'll take some time, but I think we'll get there.
Right. Well, we're going to finish with one last question here. It's for Clive Lloyd. It's from Jatin Verma from WION. His question is, Grace mentioned you being synonymous with Test cricket. My question is, how do you see evolution of Test cricket from then to now, this fourth format of Cricket Test 20?
The point is that I'm a Test cricket person. There's no doubt about that. I feel that we've neglected Test cricket over the years, and I think that we need to get that back into the system, because really and truly, I will find it very difficult to assess you as a top cricketer or first class cricketer or Test cricketer if you haven't played to the highest level. And as I said earlier, it's an examination. It examines every part of your cricketing skills. And I don't want to see the end of Test cricket. I think it would be a tragedy that we don't want to continue in this vein. And I would like to ask a question too. Do we have the ICC backing? Do we have the countries backing this? Because it will be a help to them. Because I know that we are struggling in the West Indies monetarily, because it's a very difficult situation for us. 14 islands, and just 5 million people. And if we don't have the finance to look after our cricket, we'll be in the doldrums for quite a while. So I want to see Test cricket back. So that is why I want to back this system. I hope I've answered it.
No, definitely. Sure have. All right. Well, thank you so much to our panel for answering all of our media's questions. Obviously, want to do a big thank you to guests, big thank you to the members of the media for joining us from all around the world. Now, you're going to receive the official press kit link along with today's key highlights and assets. So that'll happen shortly after this call. And now it's official. Global registrations for young cricketers have opened. So make sure you visit www.test20.com to register and be part of cricket's next chapter. On behalf of everyone at Test 20, I'm Grace Hayden. Thank you for being part of this truly historic moment. I hope you all have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, thanks, Gracie.
Thank you.